Today we're going to take a look at one of my favorite charting setups, which is the ascending triangle breakout. Now, an ascending triangle is simply an entry technique. So it's not a full trading strategy, doesn't take into account an exit, doesn't take into account position sizing and so on. You need to put some of those parameters around it. But we're going to take a look at just the strength of ascending triangles and what they could mean in terms of how you trade them, or perhaps if you add them to an existing set of setups that you have. Now, one thing to consider, there is a lot of growth in quant-based trading, in artificial intelligence-based trading and so on. Now, do keep in mind that ascending triangles is a discretionary trading method for the most part. It's not an exact science. There's a little bit of subjectivity involved. There can be a difference between where people place their support and resistance lines. So that makes it a little bit subjective relative to something that might be very clear cut and dry, like a systematic method that is analyzed and given direction by the computers. So very clear black or white versus discretionary, which you need to use your discretion in order to get the same signals. So do keep in mind that where I've put the support and resistance lines in this case, and the examples I'm about to show, might be different to where you would put them. So we're going to have a look at some of the stocks. So you can apply this over foreign exchange, you can apply this over indices, you can apply it over commodities as well. It's very good. Anytime clear support and resistance lines are broken, that is an indication that there's either a lot or a little bit of pain experienced by someone on the wrong side of the market, and as a result they want to be able to cover and clear that, which helps fuel the rally. Also, it combines beautifully with the fear of loss. As the market is rallying away and pushing into blue sky territory, there's a lot of people that want to get on and they don't want to miss out. So the examples I'm going to show you here are very much uptrending stocks that are continuing to break into new highs, and given it's late 2018, so September 2018, the markets have been extremely bullish over the last year or so. So let's take a look at this one. This is Aristocrat Leisure. Now, the whole concept of an ascending triangle is that it has a common resistance point up the top, which, as an example, you may like to place this one just through there. See what I mean by you could place it on the highs, recent highs, or perhaps the closing price and the highs, trying to get as many common points as you can in respect to where you place your resistance point in this point. So what tends to happen is prices hit a point of resistance, pull back, and then they keep trying to test that several times whilst forming higher lows. So the buying is getting built up, there's a lot of energy building up, and the best combination is to see volume dropping away into the point, simply because the people that have bought it. They're just not looking to sell. So there's little volume going through. They're just not willing to sell because they know, or they believe, the good information is around the corner and the fundamentals are about to take off and the technical traders are about to receive a breakout that's very positive for them. As you can see here, this is a perfect setup because the volume is dropping into this ascending triangle point, and then as it breaks, it pushes ahead quite nicely. Not a massive ascending triangle, we'll show some better ones, but in this case, that's not too bad. Now, you could have got whipsawed in on a few of these, and like that one there, depending on where you put your resistance point, it would determine whether you've got in on that little breakout there and how you trade that. That could have been a loss through there, so just do keep that in mind. You do need to be aware of your exit method and the way you manage these trades and how you hold on, and the space that you give it to see it out. Let's have a look at ResMed as an example. Okay, there's a couple of ascending triangles through here because it's going to happen in a beautiful uptrending stock like ResMed, which has continued to trade higher. So a couple of ascending triangle breakouts through here. Once again, the lows are getting higher, common resistance point, and then it breaks out. Lows are getting higher, common resistance point, and then it breaks out. That's a good example of the volume getting lower as well. And then generally on the breakout day, the volume does peak quite nicely. Volume wasn't drying up, well, it was through there just at the peak there. As you can see, the volume dried off just through those last couple of days, and then it went nicely higher and volume rocketed up as well. And just more recently through here, you can see the volume has been pretty steady throughout. I wouldn't call that necessarily a massive drop off or anything, but certainly the volume has been steady, common resistance point, lows getting higher before it then goes and breaks out. Let's have a look at another one. CSL had an excellent breakout. This is a very, very strong breakout through here. Beautiful ascending triangle as the lows are getting higher. Let me just remove that so we can actually see it a little better. So the lows are getting higher through there, common resistance point before it then goes and breaks out extremely strongly. That's a strong breakout from 204-ish all the way up to 230. Let's have a look at another one, BPT, Beach Petroleum. A couple of ascending triangles through this lovely uptrend through here again. Common resistance point, lows getting higher, and then we see a nice breakout through there. You can see the volume sort of dropping off in and around that breakout, and then certainly volume picking up through the breakout through there. Once again through here, volume was pretty steady throughout, so it wasn't dropping off. Lows are getting higher, common resistance point. You could argue that the breakout occurred through there. As you can see, lows getting higher, common resistance point, and depending on where you put that resistance point, it will determine when you got into that particular trade. And let's have a look at one last one, which is ALU, Altium. You can see another same sort of thing. When uptrends are in place, these type of ascending triangles are quite prolific. As you can see, lows getting higher, common resistance point before it breaks out. A lot of the time you will see markets come back and test the previous resistance point, which then turns into support. As you can see, it came down, tested the support or previous resistance point, and then also rallied off that. A lot of traders do like to, whether they get in on the breakout or not is one thing, but they do like to see if they could get back in on the retest of that support line. It's a very positive move through there. In fact, hit it a couple of times, double top, a little bit of bullish divergence through there as well. So a couple of positive signals through there leading up to that. Obviously so much easier to see with hindsight. I can see where the market went, of course. So do keep in mind the examples we're showing do have hindsight. I'm able to pick perfect ascending triangle examples, but in real time you've just got to be able to allocate your risk, know where you're willing to give back in order for the potential of the ascending triangle breakout to happen in your favor. Hopefully you like this video, hopefully you get a lot out of it. If you do like this video, please give it the thumbs up, and of course all the best with your trading. Thank you.